Greetings, everyone. I'm back. This is Gaia Earth Goddess, and I'm just making another installment of my series, I Am the Bridge. I think this is installment number 3 or 4. I have to check and see. But I was coming on here to talk about a topic that I've recently learned about called Black fatigue. And I just found out about it recently, and I started looking into it. And a lot of people are offended by the term Black fatigue, especially people who identify as being Black. As you guys know, just to start off, for anybody who may have missed my previous videos, I don't identify with any race. So I'm not Black, I'm not white, I'm not Asian, Hispanic. I don't identify with race or ethnicity of any kind. And because of that, it kind of gives me like a backdoor, like outside of the box lens of like racial things between groups of people, and see the strife from all sides, from different groups of people, particularly Black people and white people. And so I believe that I was incarnated to be a bridge to help people, particularly Black people and white people, begin to understand one another, each other's strife, and each other's boundaries, and ways that both of those races can get along better. So, back on Black fatigue, I, learned about it recently, and people get offended by it, especially those who are identifying as Black. But I was going to say that Black fatigue is very real. It's a very real thing. And when people have this term Black fatigue, it's almost like, can you blame them? Because I don't think a lot of Black people are really seeing anything from another group of people's perspective. Dealing with Black people can be very tiring and can be fatiguing to other groups of people, because it's like the rest of the world is on one wavelength, and then you have Black people, particularly American Blacks, because I don't see it happening as much with Caribbean people and Africans. It does, but not as much. Particularly American Blacks are on this wavelength that is separate from everyone else, and it's due to largely a sense of victimhood, and it's like a cloud of victimhood that is over this particular group of people, and they have been culturally taught to embrace that and use that as a weapon, use it to motivate them to do this and that. It's used for different things, and you have to look at other people's perspective from the outside looking in, Black people, because it's tiresome. Black people, from what I've seen, what I've noticed growing up around mostly Black people and being around Black adults, is everything negative that happens to Black people gets some kind of way pushed underneath this victimhood umbrella. They're either going to use slavery as to a reason why something negative is happening with their people, or use something within the civil rights era that deals some kind of way loops into what's happening today. As far as, like, for example, like going to college, there is this common misconception among the Black community that it's so much harder for Black children to get into college because there's so much against them to go to college, when in actuality it isn't. You just have to go to school, make good grades, pass your SATs, and apply to college like everybody else. But if college is just one example, there's so many examples of like Black people using this air of victimhood. I've seen spaces where white people have tried to have just regular run-of-the-mill conversations with Black people, and some kind of way it will flip around to race and or something, and it's like they're always stuck on race or something racial. And when somebody who is not Black says, "Hey, why are you guys talking about race? We were just talking about the grocery store." Like, how did this loop around to I'm talking about grocery shopping, and then all of a sudden you're saying, when they see us in the store, they like to follow us and look at us, and they be sitting, and the people who are talking are like, what are you talking about? We're talking about grocery shopping. And that's just an example, but it's just an example of how conversations can go left when you are talking to Black people. And it's tiresome because most of the time, other groups of people could not have conversations with black people without it some kind of way going into something racial. Like one time I was in a swimming pool, and it was me, this woman who identifies as being black, and two white women. And I was afraid of the water. I was like, oh, I'm afraid of the water. And the white women were like, hey, you do this to help you float. And they were just telling me ways to not be scared of swimming, because sometimes I get scared of swimming. And then as I'm doing that, all of a sudden the woman who identifies as being black, she's like, why are you afraid of the water? I said, why? I don't know. She's like, that's very common among black people. And, that links back to slavery and da 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 and the slave ships. And me and the white women just kind of looked like, huh? Like, it was like, okay, that's an interesting tidbit of information for you to randomly spill while we're all sitting in the pool talking about something completely different. And the black woman, the woman who identifies as being black, she didn't mean anything by it, but it's just another example of how black people constantly are looping things back around to race, or something dealing with racial things, or something about black people. And it gets tiresome, y'all. It gets tiresome when people are around black people. It gets tiresome. It's getting to a point where other groups of people don't want to be around you, because when they are around you, or around you, enough of you for an extended period of time, the conversation is going to go to melanin, black empowerment, what Dr. King said, something about slavery, and you could be talking literally about anything. And I'm telling you, most black people will loop it around to race or slavery, I'm telling you, or loop it around to civil rights or some kind of injustice about black people, some kind of way. It's going to look back around. And other groups of people don't want to be around those constant conversations about that. It's good to mention every once in a while, but the constant, people don't want to be around that. And then when other groups of people don't want to be around black people, then that's the problem. Then black people say, oh, see, they don't want to be around us because we're black. No, it's not that. It's because they have black fatigue. They're tired of the victimhood mentality and the constant references to strife and race, and we got to fight for this and that and come together as a people, and the black man and the white man and this and that, and everyone else is just living their lives. Everybody else is just going to work and going to school and living their lives, and it just seems like black people are in this black people bubble where everything is so serious, and it's actually not. And I've seen other black people who are getting tired. So I know that white people, Asians, Hispanics, and Arabs are tired. This is why these groups of people don't really interact with black people, because it's very difficult, because there's an air of victimhood. Black people really are stuck in a victimhood mentality. They always think something is against them. They're always thinking something is harder from them. They always say there's one strike against you because you're black. That's something that I've heard black people say all the time. That you're born with one strike against you because you're black. That's an air of victimhood. It's done a lot, and there's that type of mentality that people have to deal with. Then that's always talking about race and how they fought for this and that. That's that other mentality that people get tired of listening to and hearing about. It's you can't have a regular conversation with black people. It's going to flip to one of those. And this is not all the time, but it's most of the time. And people experience black fatigue because of just being around black people can be very, very tiresome. Or it's the little small bits of racism that I see that black people do to other groups of people. Like I've seen panels where it'll be black people that are just out of their way will get annoyed with white people just because they're white. They'll ask them a question. It'll be something very simple, like, something simple. And they say, what do you know? Why are you asking me? And it's open racism, really, because they're only reacting like that because this person is white, or reacting like that because this person is Asian. Or they'll just go out of their way to call white people names, or say, very, they'll even laugh it off like it's a joke. But if a white person were to do the same thing, it would be a problem. If a white person were to jokingly call you a name based on your skin color, then it's a problem. But black people do that to white people all the time and expect them to just laugh it off. That type of behavior is tiresome. People are getting tired of dealing with that type of behavior. It's black fatigue is very, very real, and I need black people to realize that you are causing yourself to be isolated. You're causing other group of people to not want to be around you. You're causing your own strife because you're not trying to connect with people. You're not trying to promote equality like you say Dr. King promoted. You're not. You're separating yourselves from people mentally. You have this victimized mentality. You always talking about we need black people to come together as one, and you're always talking about Martin Luther King, but his message was everybody come together as one, and that's what black people are missing. He wasn't talking about just black people coming together. He talked about everybody coming together, not just black folks. Like the people saying, "Oh, we need to make another Black Wall Street." Why? Why not? Why not come together with people? You're just resegregating yourself, and you're not focusing on equality and really truly getting along with other groups of people. You're not doing that, and other groups of people can sense that, and they are tired. They're not trying to be mean and rude and nasty. Everybody is just tired. They're tired of the mentality. They're tired of the constant victimhood mentality and the complaining and the constant comparison that you guys do between races. You're constantly comparing yourself to white women. You know, they don't look like us. You know, Asian women, they don't have this like us. You know, the melanin people, you know, we was the first doing this and that. They're tired of those things. They can hear you and they're tired. Black fatigue is real. And I just need black people to stand back and just really observe the world around them and realize the whole world is moving by and you guys are stuck in your mentality. And it's embarrassing and it's sad. Like everybody else just moving by and you guys are still stuck in 1960s or stuck in a mentality that's holding you behind. So I just wanted to just talk about that and come on here and just touch on black fatigue because people think, oh, it's racist, but it's not. People are truly tired. Like, they're truly tired. And I know I'm tired. I don't identify with any race, and I'm tired. I know that other groups of people have been tired. So this is just Gaia Earth Goddess coming with another video. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll talk to you guys later. All right. Bye-bye.